In the modern landscape of global media, few institutions attract as much persistent speculation, sensationalism, and dramatic commentary as the British monarchy. Behind the grand public ceremonies, state banquets, and historical traditions of the House of Windsor lies a complex constitutional enterprise that operates under strict legal frameworks, statutory regulations, and century-old parliamentary conventions. Yet, on a daily basis, online platforms, tabloid outlets, and commentary channels publish sensationalized narratives designed to captivate public attention. Headline claims suggesting that Prince William has suddenly taken the law into his own hands to strip senior family members of their royal titles, or that Queen Camilla has been caught in explosive personal confrontations with King Charles inside private palace quarters, frequently spread across social media feeds. To understand why these claims emerge and why they bear almost no resemblance to constitutional reality, one must examine the actual legal mechanics of royal titles, the structural governance of the royal household, and the realities of modern sovereign administration. To begin unspooling these claims, one must first address a persistent myth that a Prince of Wales or even a reigning monarch possesses a personal, unilateral authority to strip a member of the royal family of their hereditary peerage or formal royal style. In popular culture, royal authority is often misconstrued as an absolute power, where a king or heir apparent can issue an immediate verbal decree to revoke a dukedom, banish a relative, or alter the line of succession. Constitutional reality in the United Kingdom, however, is fundamentally different. The United Kingdom is a constitutional monarchy, meaning that sovereign power is bound by parliamentary law, legal precedent, and statutory regulation. Under British law, peerages, such as dukedoms, earldoms, and baronies, are distinct legal entities created by letters patent under the Great Seal of the realm. Once a peerage is conferred upon an individual, it becomes a property right of sorts under common law and cannot be arbitrarily revoked by the Crown alone. According to established legal authorities, including Halsbury's Laws of England and official parliamentary briefings from the House of Commons Library, no peer can be deprived of a peerage except by or under the explicit authority of an Act of Parliament. This principle has been repeatedly affirmed by constitutional experts and government ministers alike. If a reigning monarch or heir apparent wished to strip an individual of a peerage title, the process would require primary legislation passed by both the House of Commons and the House of Lords, followed by royal assent. A historic precedent for this process is the Titles Deprivation Act 1917. Passed during the height of the First World War, this specific legislation was enacted because King George V did not possess the constitutional authority to unilaterally revoke the British peerages and princely ranks of enemy German relatives who were fighting against the United Kingdom. Parliament had to pass a dedicated statute to set up a Privy Council committee to investigate and recommend the removal of those specific titles. Therefore, the notion that Prince William could abruptly strip royal titles through personal anger or executive overreach is completely incompatible with British constitutional law. While peerages require an Act of Parliament to be revoked, formal royal styles, such as His or Her Royal Highness, and the titular dignity of Prince or Princess operate under somewhat different legal rules. The style of Royal Highness is regulated by the royal prerogative through letters patent issued by the monarch. Historically, sovereigns have issued letters patent to define who within the royal family is entitled to hold the style of Royal Highness. For instance, King George V issued historic letters patent in 1917 establishing that the style of Her Royal Highness and the title of Prince or Princess should be restricted strictly to the children of the sovereign, the children of the sovereign's sons, and the eldest living son of the eldest son of the Prince of Wales. Subsequent monarchs have modified these rules using letters patent. For example, Queen Elizabeth II issued letters patent in 2012 extending the title of Prince and Princess to all children of the eldest son of the Prince of Wales, ensuring that Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis received princely styles alongside Prince George. Crucially, however, the authority to issue letters patent regulating the style of Royal Highness rests solely with the reigning monarch, acting on the advice of constitutional ministers. As heir apparent, Prince William does not hold a royal prerogative and cannot issue letters patent or make binding legal declarations regarding royal styles. While Prince William, as Duke of Cornwall and Prince of Wales, manages his own executive household and wields significant operational influence over the management of duchy lands and Kensington Palace initiatives, his role is administrative and supportive of the reigning sovereign. He operates within a structured team alongside King Charles, prioritizing institutional continuity, financial discipline, and public service. Sensational reports claiming that William has stripped title completely confuse personal administrative leadership with parliamentary and sovereign law. The second major pillar of sensational headline narratives involves claims of extreme personal conflict, workplace harassment, or bullying within private royal quarters, frequently targeting Queen Camilla. Tabloid commentary often paints dramatic pictures of palace corridors filled with shouting matches, secret plots, and intense personal warfare between senior family members. In reality, the day-to-day operations of Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace, and private estates like Sandringham and Balmoral run on highly structured, professionalized routines overseen by experienced civil servants, private secretaries, and security detail officers. The idea that Queen Camilla would be caught bullying King Charles or engaging in explosive confrontations in front of staff ignores both the personality dynamics and the institutional realities of the royal household. Since her marriage to King Charles in 2005, Queen Camilla's public and institutional role has been defined by steady support, low-key duty, and meticulous adherence to palace protocol. Royal correspondents and legal biographers consistently emphasize that Queen Camilla's primary focus throughout her time in the royal family has been supporting King Charles in his constitutional duties and advancing her own designated charitable patronages, particularly in areas such as literacy, supporting victims of domestic abuse, and health awareness. As Queen Consort, Camilla holds a ceremonial role recognized by tradition, but she possesses no independent executive or constitutional authority over state matters, sovereign assets, or the royal succession. Her position is designed entirely to complement the monarch's role as head of state. Furthermore, during recent years, as King Charles has navigated scheduled medical treatments and managed workload adjustments, Queen Camilla, Prince William, and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, have worked in close coordination to maintain the crown's public presence. Far from being an environment of internal sabotage or hostility, the modern royal court relies heavily on collaboration among its senior working members. The core group of working royals, often referred to as the active corps, coordinate schedules months in advance through joint meetings of their respective private offices. Official travel, patronage events, diplomatic receptions, and public engagements are planned with precision by the Lord Chamberlain's office to ensure that the monarchy presents a unified, apolitical, and stable image to the nation and the wider Commonwealth. Why, then, do stories alleging dramatic title stripping and intense palace warfare flood the public sphere with such frequency? To answer this question, one must analyze the economics and algorithms of modern digital media. Over the past decade, the landscape of news consumption has shifted dramatically toward online video platforms, social media aggregator sites, and digital tabloids. On these platforms, content creators and media publishers compete fiercely for user attention, clicks, and advertising revenue. Highly dramatic, emotionally charged titles containing capitalized keywords, such as shocks, strips, bullying, or turmoil, are specifically engineered to trigger curiosity, indignation, or shock in potential viewers. In many cases, these digital videos and commentary posts use a formulaic structure. A thumbnail and headline present an explosive narrative of immediate collapse or dramatic confrontation. However, once a viewer listens to or reads the content, the narrative typically shifts into broad speculation, hypothetical scenarios, or recycled press rumors that bear little connection to the initial clickbait premise. Frequently, standard operational decisions, such as a routine update to the royal family's official website listing, an administrative adjustment in household staff, a decision by a non-working royal to step back from public duties, or a planned shift in estate management, are reframed as catastrophic family feuds or secretive purges. A clear example of this dynamic can be seen in how the media covers discussions surrounding the concept of a slimmed-down monarchy. For several years, King Charles III and Prince William have both expressed support for an operational philosophy that focuses the monarchy's resources on a smaller, highly active group of full-time working royals. This approach is driven by practical considerations, streamlining household expenditure, reducing reliance on taxpayer funding via the sovereign grant, and ensuring that every active working royal maintains a high-impact, relevant public portfolio. In continental Europe, several monarchies have implemented similar structural changes in recent years. For example, Queen Margrethe II of Denmark formally adjusted the royal status of several of her grandchildren in 2022, streamlining the royal house so that only the direct line of succession retained active princely styles and state-funded roles. When British royal commentators discuss similar potential long-term plans for the House of Windsor, such as restricting the formal use of titles among non-working members or refocusing official patronages, these long-term strategic discussions are frequently sensationalized by online commentary channels. A thoughtful discussion regarding how future reigns might manage administrative roles and title usage becomes translated into dramatic, immediate narratives about Prince William launching furious attacks, stripping titles overnight, or expelling family members from the institution. To fully understand the true nature of Prince William's leadership approach, one must look at how he manages his existing responsibilities as Prince of Wales and Duke of Cornwall. When William succeeded to the Duchy of Cornwall in September 2022, he took control of an ancient private estate valued at over £1 billion, encompassing agricultural land, commercial real estate, residential properties, and natural reserves across southwestern England. The Duchy of Cornwall exists to provide financial independence to the heir to the throne, funding his official public duties, charitable endeavors, and private household. Rather than running the duchy through traditional aristocratic patronage, Prince William has implemented a modern, corporate management approach focused on measurable impact, environmental sustainability, and community housing initiatives. For example, he launched major multi-year programs aimed at addressing homelessness, expanding affordable housing on duchy land, and promoting sustainable agriculture among tenant farmers. This modern management style reflects a strategic decision to ground the monarchy's legitimacy in tangible public benefit rather than formal titles or historic privilege. In terms of household governance, Prince William works within an executive framework that values discipline, clear boundaries, and professional standards. Kensington Palace operates with an emphasis on long-term strategy and media discipline. When ADM impulsive, emotionally volatile persona often attributed to him by sensational headlines. Initiative decisions are made regarding which events to attend, which charities to endorse, or how to structure private family life. William and Catherine prioritize long-term stability over short-term media cycles. This disciplined, measured approach stands in total opposition to the similarly, examining the actual relationship between Prince William and Queen Camilla reveals an operational dynamic built on mutual respect and shared institutional purpose. While media narratives frequently attempt to construct enduring personal rivalries based on historical events from 30 years ago, the practical reality of modern royal life requires senior figures to collaborate effectively. In public appearances, state occasions, and private family gatherings, King Charles, Queen Camilla, Prince William, and Catherine demonstrate a synchronized professional rapport. During periods when a king has reduced his public-facing schedule for health reasons, Queen Camilla and Prince William have stepped forward to represent the crown at major national events, such as Commonwealth Day services, state diplomatic receptions, and memorial commemorations. This joint effort underscores their shared commitment to preserving the stability and dignity of the monarchy. Another aspect of modern royal governance that is frequently misunderstood by the public is a distinction between working royals and non-working members of the royal family. In the British system, being a member of the royal family by blood or marriage is distinct from being an official working royal. Working royals are those members who carry out official engagements on behalf of the sovereign, serve as patrons to hundreds of charities, represent the nation domestically and overseas, and receive financial support for their official expenses through the sovereign grant or duchy funds. Non-working members of the royal family, even if they hold historic peerages or princely styles, do not perform official duties on behalf of the monarch, do not receive funding from the sovereign grant, and pursue their own private careers or independent lives. When non-working royals step back from official duties or choose not to use their formal titles in daily business life, tabloid headlines often characterize this as a punishment or title stripping. In truth, adjustments regarding title usage are often agreed upon through formal consultations between the individual, the monarch, and senior advisors, resulting in official statements or royal warrants that specify how styles will be used in practice. For example, when Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, stepped back from full-time working royal roles in 2020, an agreement was reached that they would retain their legal titles of Duke and Duchess of Sussex in their princely ranks, but would no longer actively use their Her Royal Highness styles in an official capacity. This was an operational agreement regarding usage, not a statutory revocation of peerages, which would have required an Act of Parliament. Understanding these legal and structural nuances empowers the public to evaluate news reports with critical clarity. When encountering headlines asserting that Prince William has stripped royal titles or that Queen Camilla has been caught in dramatic palace feuds, one can evaluate these claims against four basic constitutional facts. First, peerage titles are legally protected hereditary honors that can only be altered or revoked through an act of parliament, not by executive decree or personal royal orders. Second, formal styles such as Royal Highness are governed by the royal prerogative, which is held exclusively by the reigning monarch acting on government advice, not by the Prince of Wales. Third, the internal operations of the royal household are managed through professional, highly structured administrative channels where conflict resolution follows established protocols rather than public or private outbursts. Fourth, digital media channels frequently use hyperbolic keywords and dramatic narratives to monetize public curiosity, turning routine corporate reforms into fictional palace warfare. As the British monarchy continues to evolve in the 21st century, its focus remains fixed on constitutional continuity, public service, and institutional adaptability. King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Prince William, and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, operate as a coordinated leadership team dedicated to fulfilling their duties to the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth realms. While sensational clickbait headlines will undoubtedly continue to manufacture stories of explosive feuds, immediate title removals, and secret palace crises, the actual work of the crown continue quietly and steadily behind the scenes, governed by statutory law, constitutional duty, and disciplined public service. Ultimately, the strength of a constitutional monarchy lies in its stability and its adherence to the rule of law. Personalities may change, media trends may come and go, and sensational rumors may circulate across global networks, but the underlying statutory framework of the House of Windsor ensures that authority is exercised with accountability, titles are governed by law, and the institution remains focused on serving the nation above all else.